Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to another lesson of أحكام المدود, specifically أحكام اللازم, المد اللازم الحرفي. Last time we finished الكلمي, which is in a word, and now it's حرفي. And this is, inshallah, this is the last lesson of أحكام المد. Alhamdulillah, it's a blessing from Allah. We're able to finish the previous ones, and this as well, inshallah. So, المد اللازم. What is المد اللازم? Let's quick recap before we go into the harfi, which means from the harf, word. So lazim, we said it's elongated. The cause of elongation for it is the original sukun. Unlike al-arad sukun and al-lin, which is the cause for it is the fake sukun. So this is the only type of mad. The elongation for it is the original sukun or the real sukun. And then we said it's categorized into kalimi and harfi. Kalimi in one word, and we said kalimi is categorized into muthaqqal and mukhaffaf. Muthaqqal means heavy in a word like al-haqqa, al-dallin, al-sakha, and so on, because of the shadda. And then there's mukhaffaf, like, which is the only word in the Quran, is mentioned only twice in the same surah, which is Yunus. It is al-an, because there's no shadda, so it's mukhaffaf, it's light on the mouth and tongue. So harfi. Now we're on the harfi, last category, which is the harfi. What is the harfi? The harfi means from harf, means in a word. For example, you have noon, qaf, taha, ayn, sin, qaf, kaf, ha, ya, ayn, sad, and so on, and similar to it. And these are called huruf muqatta'a, separated letters, or cut apart letters, you could say, separated letters. Why? Because, for example, ayn, sin, qaf, you don't say asaq, for example, or kaf, ha, ya, ayn, sad, you don't say kahayas, for example, like this. Now you say it ayn, sin, qaf, kaf, ha, ya. That's, you pronounce the letters themselves. It's not a word, it's a letter. You pronounce the letters, so that's why it's called separated letters, huruf muqatta'a. And they're always at the beginning of the surah. And scholars of tafsir differed over the meaning of it. Some said the meaning of it, Allah, the wisdom that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started the surah with it, is to show the Arabs that that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is using the same words that they're using, the same language that they're using, yet they can't come up with something like the Quran. And other explanations as well. This isn't the time for it, but the best explanation, wallahu alam, is saying we do not know the wisdom. There is a wisdom behind it, but Allah alam, Allah is the one that knows the wisdom of having these huruf muqatta'a at the beginning of the surah. So now to talk about the categories. There are 3 categories for huruf mad al-lazim al-harfi, the compulsory mad in the letter. There are 3 categories. The first category, no elongation, which is the alif alone. That's the only one that you don't have elongation. After all, what are you gonna elongate anyways? You have the hamza, you have the hamza, you have the lam, and you have the fa. So where's the letter of elongation? There's no alif, nor waw, nor ya. So there's no way for you to elongate it. So there's no elongation here. So you just pronounce it alif, just like alif lam mim. You say alif lam mim, alif. And a mistake that people do, even I used to do it in the past. They say alif, pronounce it like this, alif, which is wrong. It's supposed to be alif, la, nu, li, like this. This is the lam maksura with the kasra, li, alif. For example, iblis. You don't say iblis, you say ibli, iblis, like this. Make it correct kasra. So anyways, you have the alif here, which is no elongation. This is the first category. And then you have the second category, which is 2 harakat, and it consists of hayyun tahur, the sentence of hayyun tahur, the ha, ya, ta, ha, ra. These 5 letters are the ones increased only 2 harakat. Why? Because you have ha, ya, ta, ha, ra. These words after them, there's no reason to elongate, because you have ha, you have the ha maftuh, and then alif. What's after the alif? Nothing. There's nothing after it. So how can you elongate it? There's no sukun asli. There's nothing. There's no hamza. There's no sukun. There's nothing for you to increase it more than 2 harakat. So it's only 2 harakat. Ha, ya, ta, ha, ra. These words these letters, are increased only 2 harakat, these 5 ones. As for the rest of the letters are 6 harakat, which is combined in the sentence سنقص عسلكم. سنقص عسلكم. So these words, the letters in this word or this sentence, you increase it 6 harakat. And now you're gonna see why. For example, let's take the second category, right? From the Hayyun Tahur to Harakat. How are you gonna pronounce it or recite it? Taha. Taha, like we said. Why? Because you don't have reason to elongate it. See, you have the Ta maftuha and alif. Okay, what's after it? Nothing. You have the Ha maftuha and then alif. What's after it? Nothing. So there's no reason for you to elongate it. We said the reason for you to elongate more than 2 harakat, what? To have Hamza or Sukun. Either Sukun Asli or fake Sukun, doesn't matter as long as Sukun. And there's nothing, there's no Hamza and there's no Sukun. So it's only 2 harakat. Another example. Alif Lam Mim. So here we have the Alif, which is the one with first category, which is no elongation at all, because there's no letter of elongation. And then you have the Lam and the Mim. So the Lam, you have this Alif, you have the Lam, you have with fatha, and then you have a sukun, alif with sukun. I would have colored this as orange, but it wouldn't allow me. PowerPoint wouldn't allow me, so it's blue. So anyways, so this is alif sakina. You have the lam, and then you have the alif sakina, and then you have mim sakina. And what type of mad is this? This is mad lazim. Remember from the kalimi, we said before it. From when we started the kalimi, we said before it is corresponding haraka. Yeah, and you have the letter of mad sakina, and then before it's corresponding haraka, and after it is original sukun. Remember? So here you increase it 6 harakat because the alif is sakina, before it is fatha, and after it is a sakin, original sukun. So 6 harakat. Mim as well. Mim as well. You have the mim maskuna sakina. Mim with kasra. Mim with kasra, and then ya sakina, and then mim sakina. So you have the ya sakina before its corresponding haraka, and after it is the mim, a letter that has real sukun. So 6 harakat as well. So it's gonna be, if you're gonna recite, it's gonna be no elongation, 6 harakat, 6 harakat. So it's gonna be alif lam mim. And notice the why? Because you have mim sakin and mim maksura. So that means it is mim mushaddada, because mim mushaddada, what is mim with shadda? What is it? It is before it is mim sakin, and after it mim mutaharrika, and that is exactly what that was. That's why we have alif lam. We said like this because mim mashduda. So you have the alif, no elongation, because we said there's no letter of elongation, and then you have the alif here sakin before it is fatha, after it is mim with sukun, and then you have the mim maksura after it is ya sakina, and after it is mim with original sukun. So no elongation, 6 harakat, 6 harakat. Another example. Ha mim. How do you recite this? The ha, it is from the second category, which is hayyun tahur. So it's only ha, and mim is from the third category, which is 6 harakat. Sanaqussu asalakum. So it's gonna be ha mim, like this, 2 harakat and then 6 harakat. Simple, right? Another example, kaf ha ya ain sad. So the kaf is from what? The third category. Sanaqussu asalakum. Kaf is there. So third category, 6 harakat. You have the ha, which is from the second category. Hayyun tahur. Ha is there. What about the ya? Hayyun. Ya, there's so it's the second category. Ain sad, sanqussu hasanakum as well. So 6 harakat, 2, 2, 6, 6. So it's gonna be kaf ha ya ain sad. As you can see, the alif is sakina before it is corresponding haraka, and after it is original sukun, and the same with ayn sad, and you have the haya, and for reasons we explained before, it's only 2 harakat. Now if you notice something, the ayn differs from the other letters. How so? See, the ayn, you have ya maksura, after it is not kasra, after it is fatha. And what is this? We talked about this before. What is it? It is lean. It is lean. So this ya is not ya maddiya, la. It is ya lean. And the scholars said, the scholars of يعني قراءات Tajweed said, since it is ya lean, that means we can increase it 6 harakat like the other ones, because the other ones from سنقص عسلكم except the ayn, they're all are letters of mad. They have alif before it is fatha, you have waw sakin before it is dhamma, and ya sakin before it is kasra. But ayn is different because it is lean. Ya lean. You have ya sakin before it is fatha. So that's why you increase this ayn. You can increase it 6 harakat or 4 harakat. So all these letters in سنقص عسلكم except the ayn 6 harakat. Only one option, 6 harakat. As for the ayn, this letter is special. And we said why? Because it's ya lean. So we can increase it 6 harakat or 4 harakat. There are 2 options for this or to this. So from this we know there are 4 categories actually. Not 3 categories, 4 categories. You have the alif, which is no elongation. You have the second category, which is hayyun tahur, 2 harakat. You have third category, which is purely only 6 harakat, which is sanaqussu lakum. These letters in this sentence, these letters are 6 harakat, only one option. Yeah, there's no other option, only 6 harakat. And then you have the fourth category, which is the ayn alone, which is 6 harakat or 4 harakat. You can increase it, prolong it, elongate it, 6 harakat like the others in sanaqussu lakum, or 4 harakat. So to conclude, Imam al-Shatibi rahimahullah, in his al-Shatibiyya, the famous Shatibiyya, he said, وَمُدَّ لَهُ عَنْدَ الْفَوَاتِحِ مُشْبَعًا وفي عين الوجهان والطول فضلا وفي نحو طه القصر إذ ليس ساكن وما في ألف من حرف مد فيمطل. So he says ومد له عند الفواتح مشبعا. So he says prolong it on the فواتح, يعني the فواتح of the surah. مشبعا here means 6 harakat. Prolong what? He means the حروف المقطعة, because they are always at the beginning of the surah. They are always at the beginning of the surah. So he says increase these letters 6 harakat, and he means سنقص لكم. This one سنقص لكم 6 harakat, and the scholars of Tajweed and Qira'at called 6 harakat ishba'. Okay, there's another term for it. Instead of saying 6 harakat, they call it also ishba'. So مد له عند الفواتح مشبعا, on the fawatih of the surah, the beginning of the surah, increase it ishba' 6 harakat. What is it? Is سنقص لكم, which is, he said, is only one option, which is 6 harakat. سنقص لكم. This is one group of the 4. The other one, وفي عين الوجهان والطول فضلا. And he says in ayn there are 2 options in ayn. والطول فضلا, and prolonging it is better or is preferred. So he's saying in ayn there are 2 options. We said what? It is 4 harakat, also known as tawassut, or 6 harakat, also known as ishba', like we said. والطول فضلا, and 6 harakat is preferred over the 4 harakat. So here it means ayn, 6 or 4 harakat, 2 options, and he said والطول فضلا, and prolonging it 6 harakat is preferred. He continues on to say وفي نحو طه القصر إذ ليس ساكن. And the example of طه, or the similar to طه, you shorten it 2 harakat. إذ ليس ساكن, because there's nothing after it, as in there's no sakin after it for you to increase more than 2 harakat. So he means حي طهر, because like we said ha, ya, ta, ha, ra, after there's no sakin for you to increase more than 2 harakat, so it's only 2 harakat. حي طهر is only 2 harakat. And then he continues on to say وما في ألف من حرف مد فيمطل. And he says, and in alif there's no letter of mad for you to increase, to elongate. So this is the last category, which is the alif, no elongation at all. So one last time, so there are 4 categories in the mad al-lazim al-harfi, in a letter. And we said the huruf al-muqatta are always in the beginning of the surah. They're always at the beginning of the surah. So he says سنقص لكم فواتح مشبعا ومد له عند الفواتح مشبعا. sorry, سنقص 6 حركات he means the letters of سنقص which is 6 حركات. And then he continues on to say وفي عين وجهان والطول فضلة, and عين has 2 options which is 6 حركات or 4, and stretching it 6 حركات is preferred. And that is why, because the scholars of Qira'at and Tajweed gave a reason for this, and they said the عين, the ya here is ya lean, and lean is weaker than al-mad, a letter of mad. So يعني you can increase it 4 حركات or 6 حركات. And something to note here, you see scholars give reasons for why, for example, you increase here or decrease there and whatnot, but even though they give these reasons, this is not why, or this is not what we follow. As in, what do I mean by this? As in, the main thing we follow is the riwayah, the sanad, how we received it from the Prophet ﷺ. So how we received it from the Prophet ﷺ is the ayn, we increase, some increase it 6 and some 4. So scholars looked at this and they gave a reason for it. So there is no يعني ijtihad, right? Because it's all from the sanad, it's all from the chain qurra from the Prophet ﷺ. But the scholars of the qira'at and the tajweed gave a reason for it, why? So it'll be easy for someone to understand. So they said, oh, for ayn, because it's lean, so it's weaker than mad, that's why 6 or 4. But the main reason why we're doing this, or we know this, is because we received it from the Prophet ﷺ like this, 6 or 4 harakat. So I just wanted to put that out there. And then you said the third category, he mentioned the third category, حي طهر, which is only 2 harakat because there's no after its second. وما في ألف من حرف مد فيمطلع, and there's no letter of mad in alif, so that you increase it. And this marks the final lesson of أحكام المد. ولله الحمد والمنة. الحمد لله الذي بنعمته تتم الصالحات. And I ask Allah to make us from His people and those closest to Him. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. And now that we're done with أحكام المد, alhamdulillah, we're done with أحكام المد. Inshallah, we're gonna move with the next أحكام, which is الميم الساكنة بإذن الله. And it's gonna be after Ramadan. Inshallah, it's not going to be in Ramadan, so there are not going to be any more lessons during Ramadan, it's only going to be after it. Jazakumullahu khairan for being with me on this journey. Inshallah, I'll see you all when studying the next ahkam, which is الميم الساكنة. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.